With 3 days of qualifying and 6 behind us, we already know the remaining 7 nations in the 470 men's event who have qualified to the Olympic Games. In the 470 women event, there are now 6 nations fighting for the remaining 5 qualification places. The weather has so far been challenging, and the day today was really cloudy and initially calm, with the fleets postponed ashore. The race committee waited until the wind had stabilized before lowering the postponement flag and sending the teams out to race just before 1500 hours. Today, the waves were described as like a washing machine, and the current was quite strong, so it was a really tricky day for the sailors. In the 470 men gold fleet, the Croatians were the first to start on the pin end. Alongside them, the German pair of Gerets and Fullman, and Greece's Kamporides and Papadopoulos. The Greeks, however, did not have a good start. Very disappointing. Immediately after the start, most of the boats headed to the left side. A few decided to tack straight off, playing the shifts, which were particularly tricky upwind. Austria's team, Schmidt and Reichstarter, who rounded on top, with the Australian pair of Belcher and Page below the 5th place. But still, all incredibly close. A fierce battle. Although the Austrians maintained their lead, with the USA's McNay and Beale up into 2nd place. The Germans, Gerets and Fullman, could see the Aussies who were too close for comfort. They were on fire now. Would they score a bullet once again? Jonas and Nicholas Lindgren and the Kiwis, Snow and Saunders, were trailing in the back. But a lot of things did change during downwind, the leaders of the race as well. Calabrese and De La Fuente rounded first, with the Aussies only meters behind Schmidt and Reichstarter in 2nd place. Belcher and Page spotted that the Austrians weren't rounding fast. Rather than covering, played the waves and swell. On the other side, the German pair and Keevel and Ryan from Australia decided to tack at once after the mark and move straight to the left. Jonas and Nicholas Lindgren from Finland and Francis Leboucher and Garros weren't in a great shape today and had a disappointing performance in the last race. Calabrese and De La Fuente kept the lead until the very end, while the Aussies managed to steal 2nd place from the Americans right at the very end of the race. Not what McNay and Beale had quite planned, having been ahead during the whole race. It was on the last jibe that the Aussies made their last plunge to move ahead. Similar difficulties for many other boats who did not realize how strong that current was. The Greeks, for example. In the women's gold fleet in the day's first race, Sweden's Eriksson and Gabrielsen were leading this race, while the French pair of Lecointe and Geron, together with Allais and Powry from New Zealand, were a few meters behind them. But even a 4th or 5th place is an impressive result in the opening race of the final series. Even more complications for the French team in the next race. The start was favored to the pin end, but the girls from France started on port and had to pass behind the whole fleet. Not exactly the best way to start a race. The team from USA made the same decision and headed to the right side of the race course. But would this pay off? unpredictable weather conditions proved a day of upsets and shuffling on the leaderboard. Will it be like this tomorrow also? Join us again, race day 5.